What's going on, guys? It's SCG, and villagers in Animal Crossing New Horizons can be very complicated creatures, and because of this, it can be difficult to become friends with them. So today I'll show you a few simple techniques you should use, what to avoid, and what you will receive as a gift upon achieving that best friend status. So first off, I just want to say that this is not a video on how to remove your villagers. I have a video on that topic in the description, and there's a link somewhere up here in the right hand corner. This video is specifically about the friendship system and how to become closer friends with your villagers. And if you follow all these steps, you will have the opportunity to receive that elusive and exclusive picture frame of your villager that you have become friends with. Now, in this video, I'm going to be using a simple friend-best friend system. There are others who have come up with different systems that involve points and stuff, but to keep it simple, I'm just going to say friend and best friend. There are obviously different levels in each of those tiers, but just to simplify it, I'm going to use friend and best friend. And once they've moved on to your island, you should start talking to them right away if you want to become friends with them. Having conversations with your villagers is basically the bread and butter of the friendship system. Doing that as much as possible will help you out the most. Talking to them every day, twice a day, even though they might seem annoyed by it, just keep talking to them, and that will increase your friendship status the most. Now, if you're like me and don't really talk to your villagers that much, just sort of run by them while you're doing chores, you can actually get different apps and such that will remind you throughout the day to talk to your villagers. I've left a link down below in the description to an app that I personally use to remind me when to talk to my villagers. So just try to remember to talk to your villagers as much as possible. Now, when you talk to your villagers, you will occasionally be prompted on screen to give them a gift. This happens, of course, when an item is in your inventory, and giving them gifts is a huge way to improve that friendship status. It's even better if those gifts are wrapped. Gifts such as furniture and clothing can be wrapped. I do not believe that insects and fish can be wrapped. So whenever you can, whenever you have extra items laying around your house or on in your outdoor setup, or whenever you receive like a duplicate item of anything you have, give it to one of your villagers, and that will increase your friendship with them. Anything you give them will help with your friendship, as long as it is not a trash item. Those are weeds, rotten turnips. I think rusted parts might be in that category as well. As long as you don't give them those items, you should be fine. Sticking with furniture and clothing is best. As far as I know, the clothing scheme does not matter as much in this game. It does not matter what colors you give your villagers or what type of clothing you give them based off of personality. That system isn't in place anymore. At least it does not count as much anymore. Nevertheless, I have left a link in the description to a site that helps you coordinate your villager outfits to their personality and to their general color scheme and all that. So if you want to, for your own personal pleasure, clothe your villagers, then you have that ability in the description down below. Now, besides giving them presents in the conventional way by just handing them over, you can also send them presents in the mail attached to letters. Now, if you send a letter just by itself, it won't really amount to much, and what you say in the letter really doesn't matter. There are a few keywords you can use when sending letters. If you say welcome when a villager first moves in, they will send a response back thanking you for the welcome, and I'm pretty sure if you send a happy birthday message around their birthday, they will also thank you for that. But those don't really count towards your friendship levels. The gifts that you add on to those letters amount to more to the message itself. You can basically just slam your head against the Switch's keyboard, and it would amount to about the same thing as if you typed out a well thought out thesis for your villager to read. It's basically the same system with just handing gifts over. As far as attaching them to letters, just avoid trash, wrap them in wrapping paper, and you will get the maximum friendship leveling upness that you will need to become closer to them. Now, aside from giving gifts, you can also do specific favors for your villagers. These are specific requests they will ask of you when you chat with them, or when they run up to you and suggest something. They will occasionally ask for a favor. Now, there are 4 different categories of favors. The first is catching a specific bug or fish that the villager has requested. This is pretty self-explanatory. They will ask for a specific type of insect or fish, and you just catch it for them in the day that they asked for it, and you will get a gift from them and a deeper friendship with that villager. The second favor is finding buried treasure. Now, this is treasure that is buried on the island somewhere, and the villager wants you to recover it. If you give it to them in the day they requested it, that friendship meter is going to go up. And the last 2 of these aren't exactly favors the villager asks of you. They are more favors you can do for your villager. First of those is recovering lost items. These are like little change purse items that are usually spread about on your island each day or so. And if you pick up one of those and you ask your villagers, one of them will eventually say, hey, that's my missing hat, or my missing shirt, or my missing whatever, and I haven't seen this in days. So whenever you see a lost item, give it to the villager that needs it. That will improve your friendship with that villager. And then the last favor you can do for your villager is giving them medicine. They look sick, they're in their little house, and they have PJs on, they're just moping around and looking down. You can buy medicine at the Nook's Cranny Shop, and you can give it to them, and that will increase your friendship with them as well. As far as I know, each favor amounts to about the same amount of points. If you fail to do a favor, that will decrease your friendship with the villager, so try to accomplish these favors. If you don't have time to complete them, it would be better if you just avoid them altogether and decline to do whatever the villager asks of you. I think with lost items and medicine, if you just don't get it for them, that really doesn't add or detract from your points. However, if you say you're going to give it to them and you don't, that will take away points. So just fulfill your promises that you make to your villagers and you should be alright. Lastly, here are some things you should avoid. These include pushing your villager around, hitting them with a net, giving them trash like I said before. Just doing all that will decrease your friendship with a villager. So don't be mean to them, but ignoring them really does not affect your friendship. Obviously it doesn't improve your friendship at all, but it's just one of those things that really doesn't do much in the way of positive or negative. So if you're like me and don't really care about your villagers, then you're fine just ignoring them. You don't have to talk to them. They will still be friends with you. Now, as you become closer with your villager, you may notice them coming up to you more, having more conversations with you, giving you more gifts, just more spontaneous letters in the mail, talking about their lives and giving you random gifts. This will happen more and more as you become closer to them until you both reach a point where they will give you their picture in a little picture frame. And that is basically the pinnacle of your friendship. It can't get any better than that. Once you've reached that stage, then you are the truest of friends, the bestest of friends, BFFs. You're the best friends. As far as I know, they won't really ask to move out as much as the other villagers will. The commoner villagers, the ones who aren't your best friends, will ask to move out on a weekly basis. Your best friends will not. They will stay loyal to you and stay on your island until you do something mean to them and they lose your best friend status. So that about does it for today's video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all the usual stuff, support me on Patreon, do all that. If you have any questions about this process, be sure to leave them in the description down below, and if you have any recommendations for future videos I can cover, also leave those down in the comments down below. Other than all that, I've been Steven, your semi-comprehensive guide, and be sure to have a wonderful rest of your day.